Hello, and welcome to a MidWorld Press unboxing. I haven't done one of these in a while, because I haven't purchased any of these in a while, but here we have 3 books in one. This, my friends, is the Summer Sampler Pack? Summer Book Bundle? Is that what it's called? I don't recall specifically the name of it, but it's 3 books for the price of, like, 1 1/4 books. Not even 1 1/4. I mean, it depends on which of the 3 books you're taking a quarter of, I suppose. The contents of this box is going to contain 3 books. The Pale Blue Eye by Bayard, The Last Watch by J.S. Dews, and In the Valley of the Sun by Andy Davidson. The whole collection, all 3 of these, is $150. The Pale Blue Eye retails for $125. In the Valley of the Sun retails for $100. J.S. Dews' Last Watch retails for $55. It was one of the early titles, very cheap compared to the other ones. But still, I mean, even if you take the 2 cheapest titles of the 2, which would be In the Valley of the Sun and The Last Watch, you're still saving an entire book's value plus $5 for the cost of all 3. That's insane. And anyways, I do actually own The Last Watch, so this is technically a duplicate, but the previous copy I had owned was a dinged copy, and I didn't showcase it on the channel. So I don't know if this one's a dinged copy. I don't believe it is. I think it's just a regular number. So, what do you know? It's an upgrade. The dinged copy is pretty nice. It doesn't really have any noticeable dings, but I might just keep the dinged copy and sell out, this standard copy. So let's start with the oldest title first. That would be The Last Watch by J.S. Dews. It's also the thickest of the 3, which is kind of surprising that that's the cheapest of the 3, because it does still have a cloth binding. It does still have a 60-pound paper stock. It doesn't have interior illustrations, which might be part of it. So this does have just the dust jacket by Cassandra Hope. I've been told, big surprise here, I haven't read it yet, I have been told that this is like a combination of The Expanse meets The Night Watch from Game of Thrones, which sounds awesome. So it takes place on the edge of the universe at the Divide, and, there's only one group of soldiers standing between humanity and the annihilation of humanity. Which, this is limited to 500 copies, signed by J.S. Dews right there. I mean, it's still printed on nice paper stock. I mean, it's not going to be as fancy as, some titles out there, but I mean, it's still pretty good. Still 60-pound paper stock. I mean, it's nice and crisp. It's not going to hurt your eyes like Blacktop Wasteland did. That one's unfortunate. I loved Blacktop Wasteland as a novel. Very solid novel. I don't know if this had any extra stuff in it. This, I think, was just the novel proper. The other 2 titles have exclusive forewords. They have, extra stuff here. This has a preface that appears to be added in. But that's it. Preface, then the book. As I was saying, I was a little bummed about Blacktop Wasteland. Beautiful actual story itself, great edge-of-your-seat action. I did do a book review on the channel here for it. But the production itself from MidWorld Press was very, very blindingly white paper and this weird everything in bold font that just, God, it gave you a headache when you were reading it, which is a shame because the story itself was great. But anyways, The Last Watch. There's still a dozen of these bundles left, by the way, when I checked this morning. $150 for the lot, which is way cheaper than the sum of its parts. Last Watch by itself is available for that $55 price tag. I think they still have some dinged copies for $30, which is still pretty cheap as well. Anyways, we'll move on to the next title that they released, which was The Pale Blue Eye by Bayard. This is one that I had passed originally because I was like, there's too many books coming out. But man, look at this book deal coming out and changing things for me. This has a Patrick Arrasmith cover, the same cover being not even mirrored, just copied onto the back. I mean, it is what it is. This did get turned into a film with Christian Bale. I haven't watched the film. The film got very middling reviews. This is quarter bound in this leatherette material, which is kind of nice, and then cloth bound for the rest. I like that. This is 400 copies. This is number 118, Louis Bayard. Is it Bayard? I'm not sure. This does have interior illustrations as well by Kent Barton. And it does have an introduction by Owen King, Stephen King's son, one of his sons. So let's look at some of the artwork. This one, I do know a little bit more about. This is kind of like a murder mystery back in the 1830s at the West Point Academy. A soldier is found dead. They think it's a suicide. But somebody has removed the body's heart. So, no, not a suicide. They call in an inspector from New York to help solve the case. And the inspector teams up with a young cadet who goes by the name of Edgar Allan Poe. And let me tell you, I don't know, when did the film come out? The film was, I think, last year. I don't know if Ken Barton saw the film, but let me tell you, that looks like Christian Bale. And I don't know the actor's name. He doesn't look like it in this one, but there's another picture that I saw online where he looks like Dudley. I don't know the actor's name, but he was Dudley in Harry Potter. I almost said Lord of the Rings. That would have been weird. Right there. That looks like Dudley. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know if in fact that is Poe's character. Egg on my face if it's not Poe's character. But I imagine it is. He's wearing a cadet uniform, and he looks like Dudley, who is the actor that plays Poe in the film. I thought I read that there were 5 interior illustrations. That's 3. Unless I missed one. Maybe there's not 5. Oh, there's 4. Fortunately, I have not read this story yet. Oh, some cult shit going on. So I can't speak to if any of these are spoilers. If they are, I'm spoiling it for myself as well. I only counted 4, unless I missed one. I could have. So if I did, whoops. If I did, I am leaving you an air of mystery for when you purchase the title for yourself. Once I've read these books, I will do individual book reviews for them. They are going to go in the TBR pile. This is the one that I'm actually probably most excited for of the 3, just because I have read another Andy Davidson novel. I read The Hollow Kind by Andy Davidson, which I had described in my review as being like Blackwater by Michael McDowell, but better. I'm standing by that description. So I'm very excited to see what else he does. This one has dust jacket artwork by Michael Montenat, as well as interior illustrations by Michael Montenat. This one is a vampire novel. So I read the description online. The description, first let's look at that signature right there, 102 of 500, Andy Davis signature, signed in silver. That is awesome. The description is about, it takes place in the Wild West. Actually, I don't know what year it takes place, but I'm presuming it's the Wild West of days of yore, just because of the way it sounded. Does it have a year in these first 2 chapters? 1980, so I guess not that long ago. It's more of the modern West, but it's about a bar hop who has himself a one-night stand with a very, very pale young woman, presumably the one pictured right here in black and white in this, what looks like a J.K. Potter illustration, but is not J.K. Potter. This is Montenat. They're all Montenat. Wouldn't you know, the one-night stand with the pale girl that leaves him with a massive headache and blood loss may or may not have been a vampire. I'm guessing, I'm leaning towards the may part there. And, well, he's learning to cope with his vampirism. Meanwhile, there's is it a Texas Ranger, or is it just somebody? That hat does not look right on him. This actually looks like the illustrations that, I can't remember the guy's name. McClintock? The guy that did the illustrations for Funland and Night Show, the Dark Regions Press editions that Richard Lehman titles. Looks kind of like that. Very interesting. Not bad. But yeah, it looks like a J.K. Potter illustration. At least that first one did, the black and white one. Not so much the color ones. Not so much the color ones. So anyways, somebody's on the hunt for the vampire. And the afterword is giving praise to Cormac McCarthy, which is awesome, because I love Cormac McCarthy. So that is a good sign. I love Cormac McCarthy, and I loved the Hollow kind. So I think I'm going to love it in the Valley of the Sun. So anyways, is he dealing with the vampirism? Is he our protagonist? Kind of like a let the right one in sort of deal, even though the character in that isn't dealing with vampirism so much as trying to take care of a vampire. But there is a newly turned vampire in that novel who's trying to take care of their vampirism, so he's not entirely a lie. But like I said, once I've read these, I will do a book review for these particular titles. I got a big TBR pile, so it might be a while. But, you should subscribe to the channel to, get updated when these titles are available. As I said, this is the summer bundle. There are still a dozen copies of this bundle left. You get all three of these for, like I said, the price of this and less than half of this. Or this and almost the cost of this, minus $5. And you get one book for free. It's insane. Unfortunately, MidWorld Press must not have been selling as well as they want to, which is a shame. I would love for them to sell well. I want all small presses to succeed. So they're trying to clear out some space, trying to get the word out. So I'm trying to get the word out as well. You can get three incredibly nicely produced books. They're having problems with, like I said, some MidWorld Press titles in the past. Ring Shout, for example, had some bad stamping, some bad blind stamping on the cover. As I mentioned, Blacktop Wasteland had the font choice, which was just an ill-advised choice. And then John Dies at the End spelled Korok incorrectly on the back cover art. But I think that's all the issues that I'm aware of with MidWorld. Oh, you know what? I think... was it Black Company was supposed to have a ribbon marker and didn't have a ribbon marker? Or is that one of the Broken Binding titles? Some title was supposed to have a ribbon marker and didn't end up having one. Not gonna lie, that doesn't bother me at all. But anyways, if you want the opportunity to buy 3 books for the price of 1 1/4, 1 1/2, 1 1/fraction, 1 1/5, depending on if you're doing those two, then you should definitely check out MidWorld Press. Like I said, there's a dozen copies of this bundle left. Otherwise, you could buy them individually. He does list dinged copies every now and then. Right now, you can still get dinged copies of The Last Watch. I don't think there are any dinged copies of the other two, though. But if you want to just wait for the book reviews, by all means, it might be a while, though. So this deal might be one that you might want to jump on now. But anyways, thank you very much for watching. Please check out MidWorld Press. Please consider subscribing to the channel, and we'll see you around next time.